Hey listeners, Michael from the editing desk here. Just wanted to let you know what this episode was. We had an opportunity to host a panel at the Great Lakes Foragers Gathering up in Michigan on June 12th. I had a baby on May 31st, so I was not able to attend. I have been home with my wife, celebrating being a responsible parent. But fortunately, we had a friend and previous guest of the pod, J.B. Douglas, step up and able to co-host this panel with our beloved host, Steve. But what we're going to hear on this episode is a series of small interviews Steve did on his own with a few of the really special people and cool folks that make up the Great Lakes Foragers Gathering. First off, we have Clay Bowers, who's been in the field for a very long time, talking about his foraging class that he did for the weekend. And then we have Joselle, who's 12 years old. She's we love young foragers and just getting the modern perspective on just hearing what the kids are thinking. And then to finish it off, we have Tim Coddington at Wildernut, who is an educator that I've known about for quite a few years, recently retired, and is really getting knee-deep into the topic. So I'm really happy to share these interviews with you. Hope you like them. And follow Rachel and the whole team at Will Forage for Food is a Facebook group. And Will Forage for Food, thanks to Rachel, Denise, all the people at the Great Lakes Foragers Gathering that make the whole event happen. There's the kitchen staff there that is really awesome. Ming Jung and I can't remember the other woman's name, but shout out to y'all. We love you. Hope you enjoy this episode. And we'll be back next week with the full panel. Love you guys.
Folks, we are live from the Great Lakes Foragers Gathering. I am here with Mr. Clay Bowers. He just got done with his foraging walk. He's going to give us a brief synopsis. What do you got, buddy?
Actually, it was kind of funny. I kept saying, like, throughout the whole class, like, maybe it wasn't exactly foraging 201, which is what we called it, but it was like everybody seemed to really enjoy it. It was just a lot of me talking about above and beyond just plant ID.
Nice.
Like kind of
awesome.
Nature connection, sort of, just like how you could like help nature, but also helping yourself.
Did you guys actually like forage anything, or was it really just like, hey, this is what this is?
We did not forage anything.
Okay.
Yeah, we had just talking and not even about like, this is what this is. Because
Sure.
like, I tried to tell everybody right from the get-go that we're not teaching plants.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're supposed to already know these plants if you're coming to the class.
Sure.
Yeah, so I just sort of like that.
That's awesome, man. How long did you guys go out there for?
I think we were out there for about an hour and 45 minutes.
That's great.
Yeah, and some of the other classes are going on, but I've been teaching foraging for like 14 years, and I noticed that people have like a time frame that they can kind of handle.
You're right.
And honestly, when I first began foraging, I would do like 4-hour long classes. And,
oh gosh.
And people would just like check out. Like you could just see it in their heads. And so
I mean, even some of my favorite classes in like college and stuff, if they got to that 2 and 3 hour point, you kind of get a little zony, you know?
Yep, exactly, man. So the last few years I've been limiting my classes to like 2 hours.
Yeah, no, I like that.
Yeah, and it's funny. It's like I've been doing classes for so long, and it seems like people are happier with less time.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, people. That's exactly why Michael and I try to keep the podcast to, digestible. Even our interviews max out at like probably around an hour. I think there's maybe been one or two that have gone a little bit longer, but for the most part, it's we try to keep it easily digestible.
Yeah.
So, I think it's a good move.
Yeah, your guys' podcast is fun, and I'm excited that I'm on it right now.
Yeah, you're on it right now.
And I've got this cool hat.
Yeah.
I came up yesterday, and first time ever meeting you in real life, and Steve gives me a hat.
Yeah, I mean, there's only 10 of those in existence. So,
oh, cool.
Yeah, limited edition.
Yeah, that's sweet, man.
Yeah, so, well, I mean, thanks for spending a couple minutes with us, and we'll probably get something a little bit longer format in the books.
Sweet.
All right.
All right, sounds good, man.
Bye.
Talk to you soon.
folks, back live again from the Great Lakes Foragers Gathering. I'm here with the young Josette. We are on the stage here. We're just going to talk a little bit about the future of foraging. Josette is 12 years old, and your mother attends. Does your father as well?
Yeah, my father's here too.
Awesome, very cool. So I've seen you helping out in the kitchen. You've done all sorts of like involvement in the actual event itself. So what brings you to the gathering in general?
I mean, mostly my mom, honestly.
Mostly your mom. Your mom's Allison, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's very nice, all over the place, very helpful. What does foraging mean to you? I guess as a younger person getting involved in the community.
I mean, I'm the chef of the family, so honestly, foraging for cooking is the just what I like about it.
That's incredible. Do you have a thing you like to use most, or a thing you look forward to the most?
I'm not sure, honestly. I mean, the thing I look forward the most is probably helping in the kitchen. I'm not gonna lie.
Is there like an ingredient that you like the best, like black raspberries or ramps? Maybe, I don't know.
To me, it's fun to use the wild mushrooms.
Yeah? Do you have a favorite mushroom to use, or just in general you like them all?
Just, I think they're fun to use.
So as the cook of the household, what sort of stuff do you like to make?
I'm really good at making Indian food.
Oh yeah? Tell me more about that.
I've also made Japanese food quite a few times. I'm good at that too.
Wow, you're super talented. What's your favorite Indian dish to make, or maybe your go-to dish?
My go-to dish is this one from this Indian cookbook I have. It's like a curry. It has, why am I forgetting the word? A kind of cheese that's used in most
Okay.
like Indian dishes, and it has peppers, and the main thing is the peppers, honestly.
That sounds good. I just made a red lentil dal before the gathering, and actually, so a dal is just a name of a dish using like split lentils or peas or beans, and it's just traditional Indian stuff. Lots of spices, lots of veggies, cooked down till it's nice and delicious.
But yeah, we have a surprisingly big garden for living in the city, so a lot of the food we use for our dishes and stuff comes from our own garden. That's
awesome. Well, I'm super grateful for you sitting down with us, with me, rather. I'm used to my co-host Michael being here, and talking a little bit. This is an awesome place. My first year here. How many years have you been here?
This is like my third or fourth year.
Wow, you're a pro already. So thank you for being patient with first year people like me, and thank you for sitting down for a couple minutes and letting us talk to you. Bye-bye. Sigh.
Well, what's wrong, buddy?
Well, I just realized this mushroom supplement I bought isn't actually made with mushrooms. It's made with something called myceliated grain?
Myceliated grain?
Oh, no!
I'm sorry to tell you, buddy, but myceliated grain is a sure sign of a poor quality mushroom supplement.
Well, dang. I wanted mushrooms, not brown rice. What should I do?
Well, you should support a small batch producer from right here in the Midwest. Keweenaw Apothecary.
Keweenaw Apothecary? Tell me more.
Keweenaw Apothecary specializes in high-quality mushroom extracts from Michigan, and they always use real mushrooms, never myceliated grain.
That sounds like exactly what I've been looking for. Where can I order?
Well, you can find them at keweenawapothecary.etsy.com. That's KEWEENAW apothecary.etsy.com. Be sure to read their many excellent reviews.
Thanks, buddy. I don't want no low-quality mushroom products from a factory. I want Keweenaw Apothecary.
Wowie wow! Wowie wow! We've got a new hot sauce for you.
It's so delicious.
It's spicy.
It's spicier for sure.
Spicier. It's called Harvest Moon, made with ghost peppers, American persimmons,
and spice bush berry.
It's gonna be great. We also have t-shirts available. Brand new t-shirts.
The best t-shirts, I think.
Baseball tees.
Scrumpers United.
If you've collected apples, if you've collected fruit,
you're
welcome to the club.
You're welcome to a club. You're a scrumper. So check out our merch store, wildedibleworldpod.myshopify.com. Wowie wow!
Howdy, folks. We are once again live from the Great Lakes Foragers Gathering. I'm here with Mr. Tim Coddington, a.k.a. Wild Nut. On Instagram, you can find him as WildNut1.
Wildernut.
Wildernut.
Wildernut one.
Beans.
So, some people say wild nut. Some people say wildernut. It all works, though.
You seem kind of wild to me. I think that's why.
I'm a Homo sapien, trying to become a Homo sapiens again.
That's excellent,
not
man.
the Homo sapiens domestico fragilis.
Well, Tim and I were just in the same vicinity, and that's just the kind of atmosphere that they're cultivating here. Is you're in the same vicinity, say hello, and then maybe put a couple words on audio. So tell us about yourself a little bit.
All right. Hey, my name's Tim Coddington, the Wildernut. I retired about 5 years ago from the computer industry. I maintained and managed the team of people that maintained the computer network and operating systems, computers in 4 hospitals, 100 primary care sites.
The grind, man.
I was a senior technical manager for the region. So I went from that, and my interest has always been primitive skills, though. So
Sure.
I retired from that so I could learn more about primitive skills and maybe even get on the show alone someday.
Hey.
I did apply, but now I don't really
Keep
want to be
trying,
on the
dude.
board.
Keep trying.
I don't know. It's different. Now
It's
that
a lot.
I know a lot of people on there now and everything, and
Sure.
so I like being a member of the community. So I think that's a lot that I've learned through when I did retire. I bought a truck camper, and now I just travel the country. So I spend my summers in West Michigan, then I head out and I go down to the Southwest. And during that, I visit all the archaeological sites I can, primitive sites. I go to primitive skills gatherings, winter count, going to Rabbit Stick this year, a couple other gatherings across the country. And I stay with people, friends of mine, that are on homesteads. They're in small farms. They're living sustainably in small communities. And I really wanted to learn more about that community.
Sure.
How you live in a community like that, where you're supporting yourself, where you're sustaining yourself, where you're growing your own food, you're preserving your own food. Everybody's pitching in, working kind of like like an Amish community.
Yeah.
A
That's
real,
the dream.
A real true community. And I've come across some beautiful ones. Boulder, Utah is a prime example of where, someone's got a large garden. Everybody goes over there and they pick in the garden and they share the food, but someone's baling hay over here and they're doing that. So learning the primitive skills, learning the survival, learning the community and how I think a community goes. I think foraging comes in as like a prime example of
Sure.
what everybody can do. They can get out in the woods. They can, if they learn the plants, learn the mushrooms, learn those kind of things, you can get your own food, and it's sustainable. It's the healthiest food you can possibly get. It doesn't come on a truck. It doesn't come from overseas. And
You're getting
you
at
can
its
preserve it.
peak ripeness.
So when it's there,
it's
you can
most
preserve it.
nutrient dense. Yeah,
Exactly.
I love it.
So it's the best food you can get, and it has its own microbiome. So
Yeah.
the microbiome on those plants as you're giraffing through the woods and
Mm-hmm.
eating things. That's feeding your gut biome, which is your health.
I like that verbiage, giraffing through the woods.
Yeah, that's Sam Thayer. Hey, Sam.
Shout out, Sam.
Yep. So I think being on the road, living more wild. I get up. I'm big on the circadian rhythm, so I get up with the sun. I go to bed with the sun too. I see the sun in the morning as a wavelength, the nanometer wavelengths coming at you. That red light, that near infrared light, the ultraviolet A, the ultraviolet B. It all comes in a sequence to protect your skin, to tell you the inside of your body what time it is.
Mm-hmm.
So going back into like more primitive living, that it affects your mitochondria. It makes your ATP pumps turn faster, so you're making more ATP and getting rid of oxidative stress. Being out in the sun, living more naturally, kind of like I do, although I'm in a vehicle driving around. I spend most of my time outside, and I can feel my health because of it. Michael Hood, he's doing a class tomorrow on on light, basically.
Ooh.
Sunshine,
Do you know when
infrared,
tomorrow? That sounds
near-infrared
great.
UV, and your skin, your skin sebum and your mitochondria, and how it affects your ganglion cells in your eyes, and tells your body what it's supposed to be doing during the day, and
Sure.
your melatonin and all that. So I think in the 5 years, I've done a lot of research on peer-reviewed paper. I spend most of my time researching, learning.
Sounds like it,
learning
man.
primitive
You sound
skill,
pretty
learning-
well-spoken.
Learning science, because I come from technology. I can't give up science altogether.
Sure.
But I really like the primitive side too, and I see that it all comes together now. Everything kind of makes sense. Everything, our health, relates to a primitive skill. It's a primitive skill, being healthy,
Yeah, I agree.
living like we used to live before 100 years ago, before we started putting toxins into everything, not only our food, but that ends up in our water. Everything you dump down the sink, you're drinking, that comes right back. They don't filter that stuff out. They filter bacteria at the wastewater plants, you know?
Yeah, you're right. So in your nomadic lifestyle, so you're in your truck, you got your truck camper, you arrive at a new destination. What is your process? Like what are the first things you like to establish?
First thing and the goal, like I said, when I hit the road, I wanted to be on a loan. I was going to spend 2 years and learn all I could, because you never know where you're going to get dropped.
Yeah.
So I wanted to learn the different plants and the different areas around the country, and it's so diverse. Our country is amazing. Shout out to America.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
There's so many different plants, so many different mushrooms that you're all growing in a different place. That I grew up in West Michigan, from Muskegon. Shout out Muskegon. I grew up there, so I know West Michigan. I know all the plants there. I studied bushcraft for a long time before I hit the road. So when you do bushcraft, you learn out like starting fire, you do a bunch of things. But then when you get to like foraging, it's like you put the brakes on. You learn a lot of things pretty quick. You can't learn foraging quick.
Yeah.
Because you might die.
You got to be very specific. Yeah, exactly.
You don't want to die. That's what Alexis always says. Don't die.
Yeah.
Shout out Alexis.
Yeah, we love her.
Learning those different things though, and learning the qualities of them in the different areas, and how to process them, how to preserve them. Because I drop in, like I dropped into my buddy in the Air Force. Shout out Mark. Found 4 big hen of the woods around the base of this big oak tree. Ugh. And he was on his 4-wheeler. I threw him on the back of the 4-wheeler, and we headed down. And I cleaned him up, put him all in my truck. But I was on the road. I was in Lake of the Clouds, and I was heading to Utah, so I didn't really, what am I going to do with all of them? So what I did, I had a couple mesh bags that I had in my truck, and it was hot, so I just rolled my windows down and put them on my dash, on my defroster, put that on high. And as I came across to Oklahoma and through Colorado and down to Utah, I was dehydrating my taki on my dash of my truck.
I personally call that the Michael Baker dehydrate, because my co-host Michael Baker. He loves that. He throw it in the back window, throw it on somewhere on some cardboard or something like that to kind of aid it a little bit. And yeah, that's a pro tip.
used to do that in Hawaii. I was a beach bum in Hawaii.
Very cool. What's your favorite thing to do with maitake?
I like it more like with meats.
Sure.
Like any kind of a
as
stew
substitute
or on top of a
oh yeah,
garnish,
on top of a
like
steak,
that.
a nice maitake gravy.
Yeah.
Oh, forget about it.
Like beef tenderloins, especially. Like a beef tenderloin with a nice broth and the maitake in there. That's my favorite. But I just add it. I figure, being a Homo sapiens, take variety, and then your body will know what to do with it. So I just put it a little bit in my soups, whatever. I just crushed them up. It's dehydrated.
Yeah, absolutely.
Left. I gave some to my good buddy David Holiday. Shout out David. When I went to his house for him and Jill, so they could have that and use for the next through the winter. So.
Awesome, man. Well, this is an amazing gathering. You're an amazing dude. So glad to meet you. Thank you for spending a couple of times telling me about yourself. And we'll talk to you soon.
All right.
All right, buddy.
All right,
Bye.
thanks a lot, man.